Remarks by the First Lady of the Democratic National Convention, Mrs. Obama. Over the past few years as First Lady, I have gotten the extraordinary privilege of traveling all across this country. And everywhere I've gone, and people I've met, and the stories I have heard, I have seen the very best of American spirit. I have seen it in the incredible kindness and warmth that people have shown me and my family, and especially our gifts. I have seen it in teachers and near bankrupt school districts who vowed to keep teaching without pay. I have seen it in people who become heroes at the moment's notice, diving into harm's way to save others, flying across the country to put out a fire, driving for hours to bail out a flooded town. I have seen it in our men and women in uniform and proud military families, in wounded warriors who tell me they are not just going to walk again, they are going to run and they are going to run marathons. In the young man blinded by a bomb in Afghanistan who simply I have it in my eyes 100 times again to have the chance to do what I have done and what I can still do. Every day, the people I met inspire me. Every day, they make me proud. Every day, they remind me how blessed we are to live in the greatest nation of earth. Serving as your First Lady, Michelle Obama, is an honor and a privilege, but back when we came together for 4 years, I still had some concerns about the journey we had begun. Well, I believe deeply in my husband's vision for this country. Me, the president. And I was certain he could make an extraordinary president. Like any mother, she was worried about what it would mean for our girls if he got that chance. How will we keep them grounded under the light of the national spotlight? How will they feel being uprooted from their school, their friends, and the only home they have ever known? See, our life before moving to Washington was filled with simple joys. Saturdays at soccer games, Sundays at grandma's house, and the day night for me and she was either dinner or a movie. Because as an exhausted mom, um, I couldn't stay awake for both. And the truth is, I love the life we had built for our girls, and I deeply love the man I have built that life with. And I didn't want to change if he became president. I love Barack just the way he was. You see, even back then, when Barack was a senator and a presidential candidate to me, he was still the guy who picked me up in our days in a car that was so rust out I could actually see the pavement going in the hole in the passenger side door. He was he was the guy whose proudest possession was a coffee table he had found in a dumpster, and whose only pair for decent shoes was a half size too small. But see, when Barracks started telling me about his family, see, now that's when I knew I had found a kindred spirit, someone whose values and upbringing were so much like mine. You see, Barry and I were both raised by families who didn't have much in the way of money and material possessions, but who had given us something far more valuable. Their unconditional love, the unflinching sacrifice, and the chance to go places we had never imagined by themselves. My father was so pumped operated at the city of the water plant, and he was diagnosed by multiple sclerosis when my brother and I were young. And even as a kid, I knew there were plenty of days we had when he was in pain, and knew there were plenty of mornings there to struggle for him to simply get out of bed. But despite these challenges, my dad hardly even missed a day of worry. He and my mom were determined to give me and my brother the kind of education they could only dream of. And when my brother and I finally made it out of college, nearly all of tuition came from student loans and grants, but my dad still had to pay a tiny portion of that tuition himself, and every semester he was determined to pay and bill right on time, even taking out loans when he felt sure he was so proud of sending his kids to college. You see, for my dad, that was what it meant to be a man. Like so many of us, that was the measure of his success in life. Being able to earn a decent living that allowed him to support his family.